What if I told you that Justin Bieber's meteoric rise to fame wasn't as innocent or magical as it seemed? Beneath the glossy magazine covers and screaming fans lies a darker hidden truth, one of manipulation, pressure, and an industry willing to exploit a teenager for billions. Was Bieber just a prodigy, or was he a carefully crafted product in a high-stakes game controlled by powerful forces? The story you think you know might just be a facade, because behind the angelic voice and the catchy tunes was a young boy trapped in a whirlwind of fame he couldn't escape. But who really pulled the strings, and at what cost? And Justin Bieber is a name that defined a generation. From his first viral YouTube video to selling out arenas worldwide, his journey is the ultimate rags-to-riches story, or so we're told. But what if that journey wasn't as organic as it seemed? What if behind the scenes, powerful individuals and corporations had orchestrated every step, molding a small-town kid into a global phenomenon? At just 13 years old, Bieber became a household name, adored by millions. Yet, beneath the adoration and success lay a story of intense pressure, control, and a relentless pursuit of profit. Managers, record labels, and even family members played roles in shaping his destiny, but not always for the better. As the bright lights of fame shone on him, shadows began to emerge. Shadows of exploitation, burnout, and secrets hidden from the public eye. What was the price of Bieber's success? And how much of his story was really his own? This is the dark truth behind Justin Bieber's early rise to fame. It's 2007 in the small, unassuming town of Stratford, Ontario. A 13-year-old boy stands on the steps of the local theater, clutching a battered guitar. His voice carries through the streets as he performs for passers-by, his brown hair falling into his eyes as he sings with a raw, natural talent. This boy is Justin Bieber, a child raised by a single mother in a modest apartment, far removed from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. But everything changes when his mother uploads a grainy video of him singing Neo's So Sick to YouTube. The internet was still finding its footing as a platform for discovering talent, yet something about this young boy's voice, pure, soulful, and magnetic, captured the attention of thousands. Within days, his videos began to spread like wildfire, garnering views from strangers across the globe. Among those strangers were two men who would change his life forever: Scooter Braun, a hungry talent manager looking for the next big thing, and Usher, a global superstar with the connections to make dreams come true. Overnight, Justin was whisked from the quiet streets of Stratford into the heart of the music industry. But while the world saw a feel-good story of a kid chasing his dreams, behind the scenes, forces were at work shaping him into something far more calculated: a brand, a product, and, ultimately, a cash cow. The bright lights of Los Angeles were calling, but little did Justin know, they came with strings attached, and those strings would soon begin to tighten, building suspense. Justin Bieber's rise to fame seemed like a modern-day fairy tale. A small-town kid discovered on YouTube, catapulted into global stardom. But what the cameras didn't capture was the intricate web being spun behind the scenes, a web that would control every move he made. When Scooter Braun discovered Justin's videos, he didn't just see a talented kid, he saw an opportunity. Braun knew that Bieber's youth and charm could be monetized, and he wasted no time orchestrating the boy's career. After flying Justin and his mother to Atlanta, he'd arranged a meeting with Usher, who quickly saw the potential in this budding star. Together, they secured Justin a deal with Island Records. It all seemed like a dream come true. But in reality, Justin's life was no longer his own. Behind the glossy music videos and sold-out tours was a carefully constructed machine. Bieber's image, his hairstyle, his innocent demeanor, even his interviews, was meticulously controlled. He wasn't just a musician, he was a brand. Songs were tailored to appeal to teenage girls, social media posts were curated to maintain a flawless persona, and his public appearances were designed to keep the Bieber fever alive. But the pressure was mounting. As a child thrust into an adult world, Justin faced grueling schedules that left little room for rest. A single misstep could jeopardize millions of dollars. Lesser known are the stories of how the industry shielded him from failure at all costs. For example, when Justin's voice began to crack during puberty, producers scrambled to adjust his tracks and choreography to maintain his image as the perfect pop idol. Then there were the moments that hinted at something darker. Stories of managers allegedly monitoring his every move, controlling his relationships, and even manipulating his emotions to keep him compliant. In interviews, his laughter often seemed forced, his smile masking the exhaustion beneath. And all the while, Justin was becoming increasingly aware of the burden he carried, not just as an artist, but as the centerpiece of a billion-dollar empire. But there's one question that lingers. At what point did the dream start to feel like a trap? And how far would the industry go to protect its golden boy? The answers would shock even his most devoted fans. The world watched in awe as Justin Bieber became the youngest global superstar of his generation. Yet, behind the flashing lights and deafening screams of adoring fans, cracks were beginning to form, and those cracks would soon break wide open. By 2013, the pressures of fame had pushed Justin to a breaking point. The boy who once charmed audiences with his innocence and humility was now making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Arrests, reckless behavior, and erratic public appearances painted a picture of a star spiraling out of control. But was this just teenage rebellion, or was something much darker fueling his downfall? Insiders whispered about the relentless control exerted over his life, contracts that bound him to backbreaking schedules, meetings where his opinions were ignored, and decisions made on his behalf without regard for his mental health. One chilling revelation emerged: Justin's public meltdown wasn't an accident. It was the result of years of manipulation and pressure. One of the most shocking moments came when Justin was caught on camera breaking down during an interview. For a split second, the polished image slipped, revealing the exhaustion and pain he had been hiding for years. "I'm just tired," he admitted, his voice cracking. But tired didn't even begin to describe it. He was a young man who had spent his adolescence being told who to be, what to say, and how to act, all to feed an industry that thrived on his success. Then there were the stories of isolation. Justin, surrounded by teams of managers, bodyguards, and handlers, was often cut off from the very people who could provide him with genuine support. Friends were vetted, relationships were monitored, and his every move was documented. Even his family wasn't immune. Some say his mother struggled to balance her role as a parent and as a figure in his career. But the breaking point came during his infamous DUI arrest in 2014. The mugshot seen around the world told the story of a boy who had lost control of his own narrative. Justin later confessed that he felt like a puppet in a game he no longer wanted to play. The industry had built him up, but it also tore him down. This wasn't just a case of a troubled pop star. It was the culmination of years of exploitation, greed, and the relentless pursuit of profit at the expense of a young boy's innocence. After hitting rock bottom, Justin Bieber did something few thought possible. He began to take back control of his life. In the years that followed, he sought therapy, leaned on his faith, and surrounded himself with people who genuinely cared for his well-being. Slowly, the boy who had been a product of the industry started to rediscover who he truly was. His 2020 album, Changes, marked a turning point. The lyrics spoke of pain, growth, and a longing for freedom, proof that Justin was finally telling his own story. But even as he reclaimed his voice, the scars of his early fame remained. He openly admitted to battling anxiety, depression, and the lingering effects of being thrust into the spotlight too soon. Justin's journey is a cautionary tale about the dark side of fame. It forces us to question the cost of creating global superstars and the role we, as fans, play in that machine. How much of his success was worth the price he paid? Today, Justin stands as a survivor, but his story is a sobering reminder. Behind every shining star is a human being, vulnerable, flawed, and searching for purpose. And the question that lingers is this: how many more young talents will fall victim to an industry that prioritizes profit over people?